Hey, what's up, people? Guess what? It's another episode of that thing I'm always doing. Welcome to Comic Creators TV. I'm Malcolm Whitfield. I'm here at Pop Rock at 337 East Avenue in Rochester, New York. We got a lot of fun stuff going on here. I want to get into the interview, but first, I want to give everyone a little bit of housekeeping with the shop. So, Father's Day is coming up this weekend. It is Sunday. This Saturday, we are doing a free ice cream thing for dads and grads. So if you just recently graduated, or if you just recently or have had children and are a father, come on down to the shop. We got free ice cream for you. Also, something fun, because everyone kept asking, we have ordered more of these Endgame Iron Men. We got 5 last week just to see, and they were all gone one day in. So we got more of these. Please get them while they're hot. One of them has already been claimed, and I just opened the box today. Also, this guy, we got one more of these Notorious B.I.G. 10-inch pops. Please come down and grab it from me. It's a lot of fun. I'll just set that back down. Now, I think that's all the stuff I need to get into. That's about the shop. Are you ready for the interview? You can't answer back. This is a live stream. Folks, I am so happy with today's guest. He is one of my absolute favorites of the year. Anytime people come in the shop looking for something new, his books are the first ones I drop. Man, listen to these credits. We got, not only has he done Ghost Rider, Harley Quinn, Suicide Squad, Most Wanted, HELLRAISER, but he's also done his own books, which are Shanghai Red, House of Muck, Welcome Back, but it's like We Come Back with an Ellen, Heartthrob, Dead Letters. He's got a new book coming out with this great artist, Ben Sears, called Dead Dudes. And, of course, one of my favorite reads, Crowded, which we have here in the shop. Will you all please help me welcome Christopher Sebela. Sebela? Oh, I knew I messed it up.
You blew it.
Hi, sorry.
That's good. That's okay.
Sebela.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just did that thing where it's you say it so many times in your head. Oh man. Anyway, thank you for doing this, and I'm sorry for butchering your name.
Totally fine. I have friends who I've known for 15 years who still mess my last name up. So
still do that? Well, you know what? I mean, you're in good company. I have an identical twin brother, one who has not lived in this city for 5 years, yet people still call me Mike. It's a lot of fun. Well, Christopher, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today? How's your quarantine? What week are we in?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm up to just counting months now. So
oh yeah, I'm still just scratching notches in the wall every day. My girlfriend's mad because now our security deposit's gone. But it's worth it to keep track.
I'm pretty used to it by now, I guess.
Yeah. Also, I feel and I mentioned this at the top of every show. Every artist and writer I talk to has mentioned it's not that much different from the day to day.
It's true. Yeah. No, I mean, most of my time was spent, in my house working. So now I just spend more time in my house working.
All right. There you go. That's kind of fun. I also have been doing that. I'm happy we started doing these shows, because otherwise I would have straight up nothing. I've been playing with the idea of I bought a bass ukulele. What does that tell you about how my schedule is?
I get it. I started gardening, so
look at that.
we're all in weird places right now.
I think yours is at least productive a little bit.
A little. I don't know what I'm doing though, so it's just butchery so more than anything.
Dabbing at the raw earth, essentially.
Yeah, no, it's just moving earth from one place to another. It's nice and mindless, and nobody can tell me that I screwed it up.
Exactly. You do it until the sun goes down, and that's another win for the pandemic.
Yes.
So, man, I want to get right into your work. You have penned a ton of books all across the board. Makes me wonder, how did you personally get into comics? Where did it start for you?
I mean, I've always been, into comics since I was a kid, and then I don't know. It wasn't until about 2009. I had made some attempts at I'd written a comic, I think 5 or 6 years before that, but I was doing graphic design stuff as a freelancer, and then it was 2009, and it was that one time the economy was collapsing.
Oh yeah, that one time when it was like, and we were all like, "The end of the world," because we didn't know the end of the actual world was coming.
Yeah, no, it seems very pleasant now, but back then
I yearn for those days.
I'd lost like a big gig, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, and I just knew I wasn't good enough at graphic design to make it my life's pursuit. But I always knew that I was good at writing. So yeah, I just I have a lot of friends who are in and around comics, which I think made the concept of me trying to do comics easier. Like, I've been friends with Matt Fraction since we were in college. So
hey, shout out to Matt Fraction. He's a favorite around here.
Yeah, love and like
love Sex Criminals, all of it.
Yeah, and I watched him do stuff, and tons of my other friends started getting into comics, and it seemed like I was like, I better try it like now. Like, if I don't try it now, I'm never gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna wind up getting another job that I hate and never doing this. So I took half the money I had saved up, and I moved to Portland, Oregon, because I knew there were 2 comics publishers here and like a pretty decent comics community. And yeah, I just started like trying to figure out like, how do I write comics? And that was 2010, and then I had my first book out the next year. I was very lucky. I'd done a lot of my networking years beforehand, so I knew a ton of people in comics. Yeah. So my path was a lot easier than a lot of other people's.
I mean, you did still like spend half your money and up and abscond to Portland. That's not necessarily like the easiest thing.
Yeah, no, and like the actual like making of comics is can be soul crushing. So it's not like it's not like it was all handed to me, but I definitely had a much smoother path than a lot of people, just because I spent a lot of my time hanging out on message boards with other comics people, and so
just sort of like seeing like what they did and what they did wrong or didn't do, and just sort of like taking cues from that.
Not even. I mean, it wasn't even. It was just that we all loved comics, and like we all just found a place to hang out and talk about comic stuff, and then talk about other stuff, and it just became like it just became a community, and then we were friends, and then all of a sudden, people started actually making comics. So yeah, it was a very weird path into comics, but yeah, that's how I broke in, and then I've spent the years since trying to stay in.
Well, I mean, you've done a fantastic job. Like I said, you got a list of credits I don't even fully have time to read, even though I would be if I did not mention that my buddy JT from Dad Stash Records absolutely loves Kiss / Vampirella.
Thank you.
He's a big Kiss fan, and I give him a ton of crap for it. But in general, he loves that book, and was super excited about this interview today. So shouts out to him.
Thanks. Yeah, no, that was that's still the weirdest like work for hire job I ever took. And it was like they offered it because it was just like, I don't really like Kiss, and I don't really have any feelings about Vampirella, except she wears a costume where her boobs hang out all the time. And I was like,
well, I mean, the same could be said for Kiss.
That's true. I didn't even put that together until later, but yeah, and then I was just like, okay, well, let me I came up with an idea, and I was like, if they like this, then I'll do it, and if they hate it, then I won't. And they called my bluff. They were like, no, we really like this, let's do it. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm
mean, like now. There is an audience for everything, and that's what I guess we learned there.
Yeah, I can't believe how much fun I had writing a starring Kiss.
Right.
So
like, not knowing Kiss, really, did you have to do like a deep dive into Kiss before you got started, or as like inspiration?
I put together like a Spotify playlist. I went through a decent amount of their catalog. I tried to stay, because our book took place like when they were recording their second album. It was like, okay, cool, I don't have to know all this stuff. But yeah, it was definitely an excuse to like, here is my one chance to like deep dive into the Kiss catalog.
And then it like didn't pop back up again for you?
I still have like, there's like 3 or 4 songs that like I put onto another playlist that's just like my catch-all playlist. So like
Right.
Kiss will still pop up. But yeah, it's very small compared to the number of like songs that they put into the world. So
I wonder. I don't know if this was maybe just for Kiss. I know when I write outside of this, I write for this site called the Hard Times, and it's like a lot of like punk and
yeah,
hardcore
yeah.
stuff. And when I write articles for them, generally like I'll always have music playing when I'm writing anything, but like I switch it to like whatever genre I'm trying to do. Like if I'm writing an article about like a pop punk guy, then I have to have that playing just to get in that. Do you
Yeah.
have like does like the music reflect the work that you're going into a lot, or is that just sort of like when it's like as direct as Kiss?
No, I do it like I build playlists for all my creator owned books. So I put together stuff that like I don't know, either feels like is stuff that I had in mind, or it's stuff that like reminds me of the book. Like I get into this weird space where like I will start listening to a song and like I will start like translating the lyrics as to how they relate to the story, and I'm like I will get into these modes where it's like it's so bizarre. It's like it's literally like about the book that I'm working on, like, and it's not like it's about something complete. But like, yeah, I just sometimes you find that zone where everything sort of syncs up. But yeah, I like to have something like it's an easy way to establish a mood when you're going to start working on something. It's just like cool. I've set up a playlist, and that'll put me right into or at least start getting me into the mindset to actually write this thing.
Very cool. Can I make a guess as to like some stuff that's maybe on like Crowded? Because what I'm guessing is like maybe some like chase music or just a lot of like slamming guitar or something that you'd hear in like maybe even like a Fast and Furious movie, something like that.
It's all like I don't put a lot of instrumental stuff, so it's all like songs with lyrics. I'm trying to think if there's anything really that like unifies any of it. I mean, there's a lot of like rock songs and aggressive type music. The only one I can think of like is there's a song called I can't remember her name now. She did that. She's English, and she did that song called "F You."
British saying "F you."
She's a lady.
Not a British woman, right?
No. Okay. This is a different.
I'm like gears are spinning, but
I can't think of it. But she does this song called "The Fear," and I regard it as like Charlie from Crowded's theme song.
Cool.
So
that's sort of like having like a little Pinterest board for the characters, like as you're building it, because you really do a great job of setting up the entire universe of Crowded. Once again, if you're just tuning in, talking to Christopher Sebela, author of Crowded and a bunch of other stuff. And in Crowded, well, like you in the first issue, I think you describe it as like in like 2 seconds into the future or 10 minutes into the future.
10 minutes in the future.
I love that. And because that truly is like, it's all about gig culture. Actually, would you mind just sort of going into a little bit of what Crowded's about for
sure? Well, like you said, it's I call it 10 minutes in the future because I don't like putting a year on something because you always get proven wrong.
Shouts out to Marvel 2020.
But yeah, it's so it takes place in a future where basically everybody is working like 10 or 20 jobs for different apps. So, it's like people renting out their house on Airbnb while also driving for Lyft, and doing a dozen other things. And there's also a legal crowdfunding platform for assassinations.
Listen, you're good at what you're doing,
Yeah. So our main character, she's one of these app workers, and one morning she wakes up and she has a campaign open on her to kill her, and it's already raised $1 million. So she hires a bodyguard through an app that's like Uber for bodyguards. And her bodyguard is Vita. And Vita has to keep her alive for the next 30 days until the campaign ends. And it's basically like everybody who wants to try and kill Charlie is allowed to take a shot. So
I mean, yeah, it's on the app. It's right there.
So yeah, it's a buddy comedy. It's slightly sci-fi-ish, but yeah, we're just like sort of having a good time more than anything.
Like, I feel like as I read it, I do hear like music playing. I feel like I'm seeing a trailer for like a cool buddy cop show. It's very much a full, like, I could see it easily translated anywhere. If this was like a radio play, I could see that happen. Really, really brilliant stuff. And up for a GLAAD award this year. Is that correct?
Yeah, and we just got a second Eisner nomination.
Woo! So. 2-time Eisner.
Yeah.
It. What was that feeling like, receiving that, like, let's say the first time?
Yeah, the first time it was very, like, it's not like anybody reaches out and tells you, like, that you've been nominated. You just find out along with everybody else.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, I remember last year, like, I saw on Twitter, like, somebody mentioning, like, oh, the Eisner nominations are up. And I was like, well, I'll go look at it and see, like, what we didn't even get nominated compared to. And I'm just scrolling down, and then I, like, see Crowded. I was like, huh?
Wait, Crowded like my Crowded?
Yeah. And I was like, hold on. I look and I'm like, yeah, no, we totally got, like, it's very bizarre. Like the first time I got an Eisner nomination, our publisher actually, she called and told us, I think a couple days before it got announced. But ever since then, yeah, it's just like, and same with this year, like I just found out, like, I was like, okay, let's see, like, who got it, because I know we didn't, and then it's like, oh crap, we're on there. Like,
there you are.
It's very strange.
Very cool. So that was last year, but this year is the first time you were nominated for a GLAAD at all ever?
Yeah. And I don't even know, that was like, I don't know what happened. Like the pandemic just sort of messed everything up. So I don't even know if those ceremonies happened.
Yeah, right. It truly did kind of mess everything up. Every Wednesday is like truly like a gamble to me. I used to live for that. But one of the perks of working at a comic book shop is I was not bored. I very much was not bored. I just had stuff that I was catching up with. And like going back too, I'm like, all right, you're finally going to read You're the Villain. But before that, I had to like go back in DC and read like, what was it? Dark Knights and like DC metal, like all the metal, all of that stuff.
Sure.
But so I got a chance to catch up with some stuff, but now I'm all caught up and I'm itching again. But this isn't about me. It's about you. Let's talk influences for you. Who are some, I guess, writers or artists that maybe like inspire you or helped you along the way?
I don't know. In comics, it's I think the only like true influence I've really nailed down is Grant Morrison. Because he was just like he's the dude who got me back into reading comics when I quit them for like this third or fourth time. I can't remember. Like,
so right now, is this your relapse?
I think it was the third time, but yeah, just like he just like everything he does is like, even the stuff he does that's work for hire is like
literal magic.
Yeah, it's so transformative, and it's like just the ability to like do that kind of stuff in like, and I've worked for the big two, so I know like how like constricted that stuff can be. Yeah, and like it's just like I can't believe he got away with all the stuff he got away with. I don't know. Like I'd say my influences currently are like people like putting out, but like friends of mine. There's too many to name, so I'm not gonna name any of them.
Well, friends of Christopher, you know who you are. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, I feel lucky that like I have a lot of friends in comics who are creating like really strong, good stuff, and like,
I often do think it's easier to be like inspired by your colleagues in the field right then, because if anything, it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you going. Like if they're putting this out, I got to put something out that's just as good or just that keeps up with that. And like being around people who make great art makes you want to make great art as well.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like there's a level of like frustration when I read something that someone I know did and it's so good. And it's just like, damn, like it's just like I just watched or I just finished like watching The Last Dance like a week or two ago.
Yeah, Michael. So
And,
you're
like,
looking at your colleagues as if they said like, "Hey, great job,
nice
Aaron."
job, yeah. Like,
and you're just like, it was at that point.
it was very reaffirming to me that like that even Michael Jordan, like one of the greatest athletes of all time, like is just as spiteful as I am, and like can be just as petty. And it's just like
very good to know everyone's on that. You have to have that same level of just sort of like malice in the back of your head.
A little bit, like just a little bit of spite.
A sprinkle of spite. That's what you need.
So yeah, like that was very reaffirming to me that like, yeah, no, it's good to like read something that somebody you know did, and it like, you know, it's like that, you know, can really push you to go further just because you can see what's possible. So yeah, I just feel lucky that I get to make comics in a time where like comics are so good and there's so many different.
I tell everyone that same thing. Everything is very, very good right now. Going into a little bit of your work, and you know, there's so much I haven't even gotten up to, but I'm seeing a lot of like dead letters, and cruel biology, and heartthrob. It's like a little macabre. I feel like, and demonic as well. Do you sort of skew towards like the darker side when you write, or does it just happen?
I mean, I definitely noticed a couple books in that, like, boy, I sure talk about death a lot. Like, and then I would have people point it out to me, and it's like, yeah, no, I know. And it's like, I don't know why. I mean, I think my attraction to, I mean, I grew up as a morbid kid. Like I was a horror movie fan from a very young age. I was a latchkey kid.
Not a horror movie. I am still such a baby with any amount of blood and stuff.
Oh no, I've seen some really terrible things. But
good to know.
But I was a latchkey kid, so like it's not like I had a lot of free reign to sort of explore what I wanted to. So yeah, like horror movies, even like when I started reading as a kid, like I started reading like Stephen King novels, and
as a child,
like in grade school, like 7th grade, I think is when I started reading. Maybe it was 6th grade. I don't know. Like,
cool. Even younger than that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've just always been like drawn to like dark stuff. I mean,
like you play it off, you know, beautiful. It's seamless in like your work too. It's not even like a big, it's just, you know, death's a part of this world and in massive quantities.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like nearly as sort of like gothy about it as I was when I was younger. You know, when you think like, oh, cool, this is my identity. I'm just like a dude who likes spooky
my
stuff.
Identity is blood.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, like, and still like even new stuff that I'm coming up with like kind of revolves around stuff like that. But I think my attraction to death stuff is that like nobody can tell you, like it's such a wide avenue to come up with ideas because nobody actually knows what happens when you die. Like, and you can come up with the most outlandish concept. You could say like, oh yeah, everybody reincarnates like over and over and over again. And like, who's going to tell you you're wrong? Like,
exactly. Maybe one of those kids from the news that they always make say that they like saw like their grandparents or something in heaven. And then later it comes out the parents just did that to get a book.
Right.
They'd be the only person who could debate you there.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I just, I've just always kind of, it's just sort of what I grew up on, and I've definitely am trying to sort of pivot to less like, at least like sprinkle in some stuff that's like a bit more lighthearted.
Right, yeah, sprinkle in stuff that's lighthearted. So tell me about Dead Dudes, the story of 3 main characters who die immediately.
That's one of them. That's actually. But yeah, Dead Dudes is. I used to be a really big fan of Ghost Adventures. I don't know if you've ever seen that TV show. I
think I did. No, that's like one of those ghost hunter shows where guys walk around with night vision, being scared by stuff, right?
Yeah, except this one it's 3 dudes in like affliction T-shirts,
great.
with like 90s or like mid 2000
Okay.
faux hawks.
Like, yeah, I know the guy. I know that guy.
And they call each other dude and bro constantly. Like they're like three of the dumbest people you'll ever see, and they've been doing this show for 10 years now. But I was so fascinated by it, and I just sort of came up with an idea of like what would happen if these dudes died and came back as ghosts, and then had to like try and prove that ghosts are real. I don't. Yeah,
from the other side, from the opposite side. It's
yeah.
a very cool, like very awesome premise. It sounds hilarious. You're working with Ben Sears on that, who I had no idea. Like before, when I asked you to do this this interview, I stumbled upon that reading the previews. Ben Sears, I've been following on Instagram for years, and he's always been hinting at projects he's doing on there, and turns out is what he was working on. What was it like working with him on that?
It was great. Like Ben was like was one of like my bucket list names. Like I've liked his stuff for I don't know. I mean, I think I first stumbled onto him in like 2013 or so, and just like really loved his stuff. But also like Ben puts out his own, like Ben doesn't need a writer. Like Ben is a writer artist, and his books are so good. And so I was just like, well, yeah, it'd be super cool to work with Ben, but like there's no way I can make it happen. And then I had this thing, and we basically just asked Ben like, hey, would you be interested in doing this? And for some reason he said yes.
For some reason. Yeah.
I mean, Ben and I are friendly. Like we've hung out a little bit at shows and stuff, and like we get along really well. So,
is he a Portland guy too, or did you like do it over, like over the computer, just back and forth there, or did you meet up for this?
I think we only met up once specifically in regards to it, but no, Ben lives in Kentucky. So yeah, like I don't think I've ever actually like worked with. I don't work with people in the same city. Like my first book, High Crimes, I did with Ibrahim Mustafa, who lives in Portland. But ever since then, like I've still never met Ted and Ro from Crowded.
Yeah, really.
I assume I will someday. But
I mean, maybe at one of these award shows that they may or may not schedule.
Yeah. So like that's that's the weirdness of comics is like you can make books with people and like not meet, you can work with someone for 2-3 years.
And definitely like the magic of it, where it's all can just sort of like materialize without either of you having to be in the same room. It's very cool.
Yeah, no, it's one of my favorite parts.
Mm-hmm. And also any part where I don't actually have to like get up and like leave my home is like a solid like part.
I would have agreed with you before all this, but now I'm like,
yeah,
like even as a dude who is pretty hermity, I'm like, man, I would kill for like the ability to go to my coffee shop and just sit outside. So
it's the little things,
It really is the tiniest little things.
Let me sort of switch gears right now. Actually, it's not really. What are some of your favorite projects that you've worked on? Like, you got a deep catalog. I'm sure there's a couple that really like stuck out to you.
I mean, High Crimes definitely, because that's the one that like broke me into comics. Right. And like that's the first time like a publisher. I don't know. Everything just kind of came together on that. Ibrahim and I did that book for no money at all. It was just the two of us. Like I did like color separations, and then Ibrahim would color it. I lettered it. He drew it. I wrote it. Like it was basically just a two-man operation.
Back and forth, yeah.
Yeah, and it we worked on that book for 2.5 years. But yeah, it got us, 2 Eisner nominations. Like it broke us into the industry. Ibrahim's like one of the best dudes I know. So it got us to be friends. Man, I don't know. Let's see. I mean, Dead Letters is another one, just because that's the first time like a major publisher was like, hey, we want you to do one of your ideas.
So cool.
and yeah, they teamed me up with Chris Visions, who is like one of the best artists working today, hands down. And it was like the first like real like published work he did, so like getting to be a part of that, and it ran for 15 issues, which is crazy.
It's dope. It's incredible.
I don't know. Welcome Back was like the first time I really put out a book that I felt like I don't know, really like sort of hit people emotionally. Like the reaction I got to Welcome Back was like one of the best reactions to a book I ever got. Like yeah, I don't know. I love them all for different, it's like trying to pick out like if like you write diaries or something, like pick out which diary is your favorite. Like,
I have a favorite diary. That was I think 2009 to 2013. Those were good years for me. That was a good diary.
That's all in one diary?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right.
It's a thick one. It's a thick diary.
That's how I regard like all my books. All my books like feel like, they're like little diaries of like what my life was like at that time, and like there's so much stuff emotionally like tied up in that. It's hard to like say like who's better or who's it depends on my mood, really. Like like even like stuff like Kiss Vampirella is like I can go for months without thinking about it and then remember like, oh yeah, I totally made that book. Like and isn't that weird? And don't I live a strange life?
Very cool. There's a piece of you in every single one of these. Like literally, it's just there like that.
Yeah, I mean, specifically for Kiss Vampirella, I think one of the main reasons I got hired is because I did the Clown Motel thing. Because like my editor specifically asked that I put in a mention of the Clown Motel in that book.
Really?
Yeah, it was so bizarre. Like I was like, "Is this why you're hiring me?"
It's fun when people end up gravitating towards or like what people's favorites are and like what that leads to.
Yeah. So yeah. Ideally, I leave a little bit of myself in all my books, and eventually somebody can piece together who I was.
Very cool way to leave a legacy. It's like a little treasure map into your mind.
It's like National Treasure. Yeah.
It's National Treasure. It's exactly that.
Except it's a much more boring book of secrets.
Well, that's going to be kind of hard to. Yeah, I did not like National Treasure too. I'm putting that on the record, everyone.
I don't think I think I disliked one so much I didn't see two. So that's an even hotter take.
That is absolutely fair. Nicolas Cage, at me if you have problems. So I got a couple more things I just want to talk to you about. Right now, we all know pandemic, quarantine. What are some other nerdy passions that you've been getting into? For me, everyone's sick of hearing about me talk about D&D now. I've been like miles deep into that. Are you into anything else like anime, like Harry Potter, Star Trek? What else you got?
I mean, I think it's mostly just video games at this point.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, like I think that's my other big nerdy pursuit. So yeah, I'm just about done with Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
My roommate has been playing that, and I've just sort of been like nodding along as he's been doing it because I'm so proud of him for doing it. But I video games I can't figure them out. I'm so bad at it. It's just fun to watch, though.
Yeah, no, they're very like low. They're low energy. Like I don't know. It doesn't require a ton of attention either. Like,
and the stakes are pretty low too, as well. Like it's. Your Grand Theft Auto driving around, you crash your car, just steal another one.
Yeah, no, that's kind of my ideal. Is like I just want to like sort of occupy my mind in a different world for a little bit. But like, yeah, ideally something that doesn't have a ton of like those Assassin's Creed games always exhaust me because after a certain point, I'm like, I don't understand. Like the story is so like needlessly obtuse or like so tied into previous games that it's just like I hit a certain point where it's like I don't give a crap. I just want to go back to like
this is what I understand about Assassin's Creed. It is a dude, an assassin is reincarnated coincidentally as someone whose name also starts with A. Is that or is he chosen for that?
I couldn't even tell you at this point. Like, I
We
don't
put
even
hours into these games. They put hours into these games, and that's still like a point I'm a little shaky.
I know there's a machine. There's a machine that you get into, and it allows you to explore your genetic memory.
Ooh.
So that's how.
For anything. Someone messaged me what Assassin's Creed's about after this. Or come to the shop and tell me what you think.
It's just an excuse to like kill people in different historical settings. Honestly,
and that is
like,
most of these video games. Gamers, come at me. Come at me. I'm just making.
Not at me.
Yeah, exactly. Direct all that energy towards me.
No gamers here.
I got one more question for you. So, do you have any like maybe tips or advice for other for people trying to like maybe break in to the industry or publish books? Any advice or anything along those lines?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's cliche, the whole like just go out and make a comic, like, but I think it's useful to figure out if it actually is something that like you want to do. Like, I don't know, the first book I ever did, was like a co-writer with a friend of mine, and like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. We stopped being friends because of that book. Like, it was just like, but it was my very first book. But when I was done at the end, when I got my trades of it, I was like, this is great. I want to do this again. Like, regardless of like everything that I've gone through, like it was all worth it to me to have a book at the end that like,
and justify the means.
Yeah. So I think you have to confirm that like you want to do comics, because there's so many roadblocks, and although like at the same time, comics is probably one of the easier industries to break into. Like, it's nowhere near as complicated as like trying to break into TV or movies. And it's not as bad as like trying to sell a novel or something. Like, if you have a good idea and you can link up with an artist, like you can sell a book, like, which is what I love about comics, is like there is it's certainly not perfect, but it certainly has a bigger degree of like democracy, of like anybody can grab a seat at the table. There are companies that won't give you a seat at the table, but as far as just like carving out your own niche, you can do that. It's all very complicated. It's like trying to figure out what you're getting into comics for. Like, do you like, is your goal to write Spider-Man? Then like that's a much different path than somebody who's like, I want to tell my stories. I don't know. I think you just have to have passion for it. I think even if you don't treat it as something that you're going to like sell or whatever, I think like hooking up with an artist and doing a short comic just to see like, this is what it feels like to do a comic, like, and this is, here's all the delays you'll go through, and like, here's, it's just like, you should subject yourself to it and see what happens, and see if like at the end, do I really want to make comics, or do I just like really love comics and just like, I don't want to,
cool. Very interesting.
I don't want to ruin it.
I don't think we've had like that answer to that question before. That's very cool. It's good to know. See if you can handle it, really. With anything, only a few people who really like this thing can go through that. So that's good to point out. Thank you so much for talking to me about this. I do want to shout out. Is there anything you want plugged? Anything you want people running to stores to go grab right now?
The second volume of Crowded comes out next week.
Crowded Volume 2. We will have it here.
So yeah, it'll be in shops on Wednesday. Let's see. Dead Dudes is coming out in September, I think. I can't think more than like a week ahead of time now.
No problem. Well, how about social media? Is there anywhere you want people to find you? Instagram, Twitter?
I'm mostly on Twitter. And it's xtop, XTOP. Or my website is just ChristopherSebela.com.
Okay, well, you heard it here. ChristopherSebela.com. Follow him on Twitter at XTOP, XTOP. Christopher, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
Let me get back to your, stabbing the ground, gardening, I guess you'll call it.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm just we're gonna finish this up. Thanks. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Woo! Another one done, you guys. Thank you so much to Christopher Sebela for joining in. Folks, Crowded Volume 2 will be at Pop Rock when it drops. Make sure you check out Dead Dudes. Once again, I'm Malcolm Whitfield. You can find me at Marvelous_Mal on Instagram and Twitter. Follow Pop Rock on Instagram at Pop Rock Culture. Check out our Facebook, which if you're watching this, you're already on. Hello. And keep tuning in. Next week, we're going to have another great guest. My name is Malcolm Whitfield. Thanks so much, everyone. All right. Bye.